before we get into this real quick, if you've ever stayed for a story that made your chest feel tight, hit subscribe and stay with me. The night my marriage ended didn't start with shouting. It started with laughter, clinking glasses, and my wife's hand resting casually on another man's arm. Our house was warm with noise. Music low but steady. The smell of grilled meat still hanging in the air. Friend from work, neighbors, a couple cousins, people who had watched us build this life from scratch. I stood near the kitchen island, smiling, nodding, playing the role I perfected over 8 years of marriage. The calm husband, the stable one. Then she walked in late. Lena always made an entrance. Red dress, confident stride, phone in her hand, screen lighting up every few seconds. But this time, she wasn't alone. "This is Marcus," she said brightly, like she was introducing a new co-worker. "I've told you about him." She hadn't. Not once. Marcus was tall, relaxed, already comfortable in my space. He scanned the room like he belonged there, like he'd rehearsed this moment. His hand brushed the small of her back. Familiar, unquestioned. Something clicked into place then. All the late nights, the sudden gym obsession, the way she guarded her phone, like it carried a pulse, the unexplained fights that ended with her saying, "I just need options in life. Plan B." I felt it in my chest before my mind caught up. She leaned toward him and whispered something. He smiled, not nervous, not guilty, prepared. People watched us now, waiting, curious. I walked over, steady, calm. Years of swallowing things had trained me well. I extended my hand to Marcus. "So you're the backup," I said softly, with a smile that didn't reach my eyes. "Take over, pal. Drinks are on the left. Responsibilities, too." Lena's face froze, just for a second, enough to confirm everything I already knew. Music played on. Someone laughed awkwardly. The room kept breathing. Inside, I was already somewhere else, replaying messages I'd ignored, moments I'd excused, the way love slowly turned into management instead of partnership. I stepped back, gave them space, and felt something heavy settle into clarity. When did my wife decide I was replaceable, and why did she think I wouldn't notice? I didn't confront her right away. That was the strangest part. I watched. From across the room, I saw how Lena leaned toward Marcus when she laughed, how her voice softened in a way I hadn't heard in months, the way she checked her phone, then glanced at him, then slipped it back into her purse like a shared secret. They moved together effortlessly, like people who had already practiced being a couple in private. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A message from Lena. "Please don't do this here." Do what? Acknowledge reality? I stepped outside onto the patio. Cool air, city noise in the distance. My hands were steady, but my chest felt hollow, like something had been quietly removed without anesthesia. Another buzz. This time not from her. A notification she forgot to mute. Her iPad, still synced to my account, lit up on the kitchen counter inside. I could see it through the glass door. Messages stacked fast. Familiar name. Marcus. I walked back in and picked it up. Weeks of texts. Months, actually. "If he ever messes up, I'm here. You deserve someone who chooses you first. I'm not trying to replace him, unless you want me to." Photos I was never meant to see. Inside jokes I wasn't part of. Plans disguised as what-ifs. And one message, sent 3 days ago, burned itself into my memory. "I'll come to the party. It's time he understands where he stands." Plan B wasn't a joke. It was a strategy. Lena noticed me holding the iPad. Her smile cracked. She excused herself from Marcus and followed me into the hallway. "You went through my messages?" she asked, like that was a crime. "You brought him into our home," I said quietly. "And you call him a backup, like I'm some expired contract." Her eyes filled, but not with regret, with irritation. "I needed security," she snapped. "You got comfortable. I needed to know I wouldn't be alone if things fell apart. So you lined someone up," I said, "just in case." Silence. Then she said it. Calm. Honest. "Cool. I didn't think you'd react like this." From the living room, Marcus laughed loudly, unaware, or pretending to be. I looked past Lena, toward the party, toward the man waiting to step into my life. And for the first time, I wondered, what if I let him? I walked back into the living room before Lena could say another word. Marcus was mid-story, holding court like he'd earned the floor. When he saw me, his smile hesitated. Just a flicker. Enough. I raised my glass. Hey, I said, voice calm, almost friendly. The room quieted. People always feel it before they understand it. Quick announcement. Lena froze behind me. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Truly. I looked around at familiar faces. This house has seen birthdays, arguments, late-night apologies. Real life. Then I turned to Marcus. But some people see marriage as a waiting room, a place to hover until a seat opens. A few uncomfortable laughs. Someone shifted. I nodded toward him. You're not a guest. You're the understudy. The guy kept warm in case I failed. Lena stepped forward. Please, stop. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't insult him. Didn't beg her. That's what shocked them. I set my glass down and said, you can have it. Both of you. The role. The responsibility. The nights when love isn't exciting. When bills pile up. When attention fade and character is all that's left. Marcus didn't speak. He finally understood this wasn't a win. It was a takeover. I grabbed my jacket and keys. At the door, I turned back to Lena. She looked smaller now. Not powerful. Not strategic. Just exposed. You didn't replace me. I said, you revealed yourself. I left while the music still played. That night, I slept on a friend's couch. The house felt lighter without pretending. In the weeks that followed, messages came. Apologies. Blame. Silence. Then news. Marcus didn't last. He was good as a possibility, not as a partner. Plan B men rarely want Plan A responsibility. Healing wasn't fast, but it was honest. And here's the truth I learned the hard way. If someone needs a backup while you're still standing there loving them, they already left. You're just the last to know. If this story hit you anywhere real, drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories that don't flinch from the truth, subscribe and stay.